Hi students, today our lecture is about two photographers. The first one is about Robert Frank and the second one is about Nicholas Nixon. So firstly, we'll start with Robert Frank. Robert Frank, born on November in 1924, is an American photographer and documentary filmmaker. His most notable work in the 1958 book titled The Americans earned frank comparison to modern day and it announced outsiders' view of American society. In 1960, Frank was staying in pop artist George Legal's basement while filming Sin of Juice with a grant from Walter Jetman. In 1972, documentary of the Rolling Stones, Cocktail Blues, is arguably his best-known film. Other films by Frank include Me and My Brother film, Keep Busy, and Candy Mountain, which he co-directed with Robbie Walzer. Though Frank continued to be interested in film and video, he returned to still images. Frank continues to produce both film and still images, has helped organize several retrospectives of his art, and his work has been represented by some gallery by, in 1984, Peace Gallery in New York, and in 1994, the National Gallery of Art. He won in many competitions, for example, in 1955, like Guggenheim. The Americans books by Robert Frank is one of the most influential photo books published of all time. It has inspired countless numbers of photographers across all genres, especially appealing to documentary and street photographers. The Americans is a photography book by Swiss-born Robert Frank, published first in French in 1985 and then in the US in 1959. It consisted of 84 photographs. Why was the American so influential? It challenged the documentary tradition. That means Frank saw America from an outsider perspective. Although his work was a labor of love, he clearly showed the ugly parts of American society, which included mass consumerism, racism, and the divide between the rich and poor. The second reason is it challenged the rules of photography and emphasized feeling. That means he will try to create images are full of power, energy, and ask questions, gain feeling and emotion from the photos. Looking at it but by feeling some things from it. Frank photography style. Frank worked in a very psychological, methodical manner, often utilizing a large format camera and wanted transparent objective with emotion and to create and feel photographs. These some pictures from his book is called American Books by Robert Frank. So now we'll go to the second photographers. His name, Nicholas Nixon. Nicholas Nixon, born in 1947, is known as a photographer. He captured portraiture and documentary photography, and for championing the use of the 8 by 10 inch view camera. Nixon has photographed porch life in the rural South, schools in and around Boston, cities kept sick and dying people, the intimacy of couples, and the ongoing annual portrait of his wife, Bibi, and her 3 sisters, which he began in 1975. View cameras use large format sheet film by 8 by 10 inch. Why Nixon preferred the format camera? Influenced by the photographs of Edward Weston and Walker Evans, Nixon began working with large format cameras, whereas most professional photographers had abandoned cameras in favor of shooting on 35mm film with more portable cameras. Nixon preferred the format because it allowed prints to be made directly from the 8 by 10 inch negative clarity and integrity of the image. Nixon has said when photography went to the small camera and quick takes, it showed thinner and thinner slices of time, unlike early photo where time seemed non-changed. The Brown sisters' long-term portrait project, the Brown sister, in which he photographed his wife, baby, and her three sisters every year over a 40-year period. This picture is an example of the Brown sister projects. And looking at Nicholas Nixon photographs, his images are remarkable demonstrations of how the traditional and by now archaic tools of the medium, a view camera, black and white film, contact prints, can be used to venture into uncharted artistic territory at the same time. They concentrate on subjects, the poor, the elderly, the mortally ill, that elegant the work with photography's tradition of socially concerned documentation. So this is some pictures. Example of his works is portraiture. It includes some pictures like dying people and others. Finally, also this is some example of his architecture pictures. Thank you for your listen. Good luck.